Welcome back. Today we are talking about the 3 stages of labor. If you're new here, my name is Jamie. I'm a midwife. I've been attending births for over a decade, and we are going to talk about what to expect in labor. What we're talking about today is a normal physiological birth. That means this is not an induced birth or even an augmented birth. This is labor that has started on its own and is progressing without intervention as a physiologically normal birth. All right, an augmented birth would be one where there's an induction through various methods and birth is encouraged medically. That's a different video, different day. We will cover that, but not today. In a physiological birth, you have 3 distinct stages. So the first stage is the early labor. That's like your body is starting to gear up, it's getting ready to go. You're noticing stuff is happening, but you are able to kind of just ignore it for the most part, unless you are really focusing on it. But if you are out and about, you wouldn't stop what you're doing. You can continue what you're doing. Nothing is that disruptive. It's not taking away your attention. It's just, all right, stuff is happening. Your body is getting ready for labor. Now, there are 2 distinct emotions that typically women will feel, or people who are giving birth will feel. One is excitement. Big day's here. Let's do it. I cannot wait to meet this baby. I am so excited. The second is anxiety, and that is, oh my gosh, I am a little bit nervous. I'm not really ready for this. This isn't how I thought it would go. And you can experience a little bit of both, if we're being honest, right? But that's like giddy, excited. What you want to do during that phase is just ignore it. Just ignore what is happening, get your ducks in a row where you need to, but then carry on. Watch a movie, eat some food, go to sleep. But you're not gonna sit there and time every contraction. You're not gonna call everybody. The baby's not about to pop out. Your body is just kind of getting into the rhythm of labor. So when labor starts to pick up, usually when a mom is 4 to 5 centimeters, labor will start to get, you'll start to notice a shift. And it is that it's less fun. This is definitely the point that is less fun. This is where you could kind of be on a walk or something, but if you're having a contraction, you're kind of like, I'm gonna stop. Maybe I breathe a little bit through this. I'm just gonna hold on. Maybe I might lean against something, but like you could kind of still go about what you're doing. Now, a weird misconception about labor is I think that a lot of people think that it's one long contraction or like you are miserable the whole time. And that is just not the case. Typically, labor contractions are about a minute long. Now, they'll be spaced out in earlier labor and they'll get closer together and more intense as labor progresses. But you can do anything for a minute. It's gonna be in a minute, all right? The contractions will gradually get more intense and it'll be intense for about 20 seconds and then it comes back down. But between contractions, you're just gonna be your normal self. Like you're not gonna be writhing in pain or like mad. You're just gonna carry on with whatever's going on. And I've often got calls from moms like, well, it's getting more intense, but I feel fine between contractions. You will feel fine between contractions the entire labor. I mean, towards the end, I have seen people sleeping in labor, but like you are in your same mind. It's not like you go completely somewhere else between contractions. You're still there. And so that's this kind of idea that like, oh, labor is like really intense, really exciting. Like, kind of, there are parts, but this whole process that is gonna last anywhere from 6 to 24 hours, like it's a long process with a lot of downtime in between. So just gearing up and getting ready for like, filling a lot of time with whatever activities you decide or whatever people you decide to, honestly. The second stage of labor is where it gets more intense, right? If you hired a doula, this is probably the time that you kind of want them. You're like, well, I mean, I could manage, I'm okay, but I don't like this, I don't love this, and I could use some suggestions, some help, some like a little bit of rubbing, maybe some help with position changes, you know. That's when you know things are really starting to get going. That usually lasts or can last anywhere from 4 hours to 12 hours. It will gradually get more and more intense, but your body, if you are planning a natural birth, this is the thing that's amazing, is your body copes well with this. Like it may be that even from the transition from early labor to active labor, you're like, oh my gosh, this is kind of serious. I don't know how I'm gonna get through this. If I'm only at 4 centimeters, how am I gonna do this for 6 more centimeters, right? But your body, as it's experiencing pain, your brain releases endorphins. And endorphins help you cope with the pain. So it may be that you're kind of getting a little panicky inside, like, what did I get into? There's no way I'm doing this without pain meds. You would be surprised how your body adjusts and copes and actually like steps up to the plate, and you do actually find your rhythm again as labor gets more and more intense. If you have a doula, they probably know this. They will probably be very aware of this. If you just have family, a partner supporting you, they're not familiar with birth, it's good that they understand this, because sometimes it's just helpful to have a reminder, like, let's get through a couple contractions. Like, let's just find some way to cope with the next couple contractions, and you're gonna find that rhythm again. And you're gonna be like, all right, let's go. I can do this again for a couple more hours, whatnot. Towards the end of labor, transition. It is the period where you're going from 8 to 10 centimeters. Now that is finishing up the rest of dilation. A lot of people experience this kind of panic or uncertainty at that point. That is where you will often hear, like, there's no way I can do this. You can see this look in people's faces sometimes, and they are just like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Even if you've been coping fine for the rest of labor, nope, they're done. They're like, all right, where's that epidural? I can't do this. You will often hear, like, I can't do this for 12 more hours. As a person who's attended births for over a decade, I can tell you that 90% of the time I'm hearing that, they're about to do it. You're about to do it. You're about to be done. When you really feel that way, that kind of panicking, it means you are almost done with labor. So surround yourself with people who will remind you of that, who are gonna encourage you that you are almost crossing the finish line. That is a time where I always have said to women, what your body is about to do is insane. You're about to let a human come out of you. Like, you have to go a little crazy to accept what's about to happen. And that's fine. No one's gonna judge you. No one's gonna be like, girl, really lost control at the end there. Like, no, they're gonna be like, yeah, that's amazing. What their body's about to do is crazy. Just know that that is likely to happen before you give birth. So that sums it up for the 3 phases of birth before you get to pushing. In our next episode, we're going to be talking about what to expect with pushing and placenta and immediately postpartum. So if you're interested, subscribe and follow along for more.